Hey, I'm Gianna. This is my co-host and Godfather Joey. We
So,
are the Mystic Mentors, and today we're going to speak about aliens. Bendición.
Santo, now don't laugh at us. A lot of people laugh at the subject. Don't laugh at us because it's real. But I did want to talk about how a lot of people dismiss the idea of it because of the way it's been, how Hollywood has made it look.
Mm-hmm.
But as far back in time as we were able to record things, aliens were recorded. For example, some of the greatest artists known to man had depictions of aliens within their paintings. But we talk about way back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Where there was no planes, there was no the shit. There were horses and knights and sorcerers, and that's how far back I'm talking about in stories that we have evidence of. There are certain religions that also discuss them. It's fire gods and mm, beings riding dragons, what they thought were dragons, rockets. And then we have modern day information like, the whole Tic Tac video and during COVID, it was the most recorded sightings.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like I said in the past video, the world stood still. There was nobody traveling. There wasn't cars on the road the way a normal day would be. So you silence the lights on the planet and you close down major cities and yeah, the skies open up. You see more in the sky. So when you go to places that are not so popularized and they don't have a lot of people living there,
Mm-hmm.
like in the mountains and shit like that, yeah, you'll see more stars and you'll see more of an open sky because you don't have the city lights dimming the sky.
Yeah.
Well, all over the world we have sightings, and all over the world we have people that are doubters, and then we have people that are enthusiasts, and then we have the scientists in the middle, not just scholars of universities, but also scientists of religions. You see, every priest in every different religion has to study. And in his studies, he has to come to logical explanations for things.
Mm-hmm.
In India, and in I believe it's the Sanskrits, they have stories of aliens. In Japan, in China, aliens do exist. In Ifa. Now you do the math. There's a planet,
Mm-hmm.
Earth, and we're going thousands of years back. It's not really, it's not a big population of people. How did we get here? Well, did we just spawn from monkeys?
I don't think so.
Because I mean, don't you think if we evolved from ape, they'd still be evolving, and we'd be watching them transform into walking, talking human beings?
Exactly.
That's like saying I bought a Toyota, and in 10 years, it's gonna be a Mercedes.
It's
It's
gonna
gonna
form.
evolve into a dream car. It's gonna be like a Mercedes. Cut that out. Listen, if we belong here, why do we need sunblock, shades? Why do we need glasses? Why do we need clothing? Don't
Mm-hmm.
you think if we was here already and then we and our human shell was equipped for this planet that we would need all these things to keep us from getting sick from the planet?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. I am a firm believer in aliens, not only because of what I've seen and because technology has captured things like that, but I had somebody we was in a spiritual gathering
Mm-hmm.
And there was about 15 people in the room. And it was me and a santera and another santero, and the rest of the people in the room were babalaos. These are educated men. They do 9 years of university, 9 years of university in Africa to become babalaos.
Mm-hmm.
Or Cuba or wherever. It's 9 years regardless. You have to study. So these men are sitting there and they're literally discussing other beings, aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, hold on, let me take off my glasses. They're bothering me. One of them comes out and he goes, you know, there's 333 rishas in this religion. Some say that the number goes higher than that and it goes into the thousands, but there's 333 330, what was it, 333, three we don't use, so it's 336, but we count 333. And in the 333, the original first 133 were aliens, different race of aliens.
Yeah.
Now this is years ago. I'm saying this was at least 11 years ago this conversation took place. So at first I was like, are these people fucking crazy? Is
Mm-hmm.
something wrong with these people? What's wrong with them? They're saying things like this. And then about a year ago, right? That whole Nick Fury thing on what was it on? I believe it was on Prime.
Nick Fury, Nick Fury. Yeah, probably. I haven't watched it.
Well, in his show, he talks about the different races of aliens that are here on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
That's the second time I hear it now. Then the third time I hear it, I'm watching Ancient Aliens. And they're talking about the different parts of the world in which alien evidence is present, and that they feel that each group of people resonated with a different alien. For example, the Japanese had one, the Chinese had one, the Mongolians had one, the and on and on and on. Like Puerto Rico had one, Santo Domingo had one. Like every part of the world, there was aliens,
Mm-hmm.
and one alien that represented each of the races. Now it's the third time I hear it, and then I sit down and I start doing the math. I can't get into specifics of the math, but I'm gonna say that it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why would some people would be like, yo, this nigga just rambling, he's talking shit. Okay, but think about it. Michelangelo, Da Vinci,
Mm-hmm.
these are people that wrote stories of people that came to visit. The Egyptians literally designed the temples, the pyramids, and the pyramids all they have now revealed that the three pyramids were generators of electricity. So you tell me how the fuck did the Egyptians have electricity way back then?
Yeah.
How did they figure out how to turn three pyramids into conductors of on what was it that the man said? He was like, the three pyramids were superconductors. So it was like they fueled Egypt with electricity. But
How would
where
they
did
do that?
what would they use the electricity for
Yeah.
other than to power ships? And how is it that current scientists cannot remanufacture the pyramids?
Mm.
You do know that, right?
No.
Modern day science and even the army of engineers cannot reproduce a pyramid without it collapsing on itself. So how did these major stones get moved into the positions that they're in while building chambers underneath and in between
Mm-hmm.
How did men do that? Have you
Yeah,
seen images of the Sphinx statues in front of it?
yeah,
How do we do that? Now, yes, they say that some of the best sculptors lived in Egypt. Okay. That's with rocks and with pieces of wood. But 5,000 pound stones? How did they move it?
yeah.
Alien technology.
It had to be because it's one, those stones probably weigh a ton. Ain't no way,
5,000 pounds each.
ain't no way people gonna bring that all the way to the top. And you see how tall pyramids are?
Have you ever seen anything in the sky that you had to question?
Mm, no.
My son's third birthday. We're in we're in Daytona Beach. Our hotel room, the balcony faces the ocean. We go to dinner. We come back from dinner. We're exhausted. We go up to the room. We go out to the porch, to the balcony, and we're smoking.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, we see this orange light. Now, listen, about a dozen people, a dozen or so people,
Yeah.
but it was Chinese lanterns. No, because Chinese lanterns, they glide, they move like this.
Yeah, and they
Okay.
go like up.
And the next day, when we all met at the lobby to go to the pool, everybody in the pool was talking about this. So it wasn't just me that saw it. It wasn't just my wife that saw it. It wasn't just her parents that saw it,
Everybody
her
saw it.
stepdad and her mom. Everybody's that their room faced the ocean saw this. There's a fishing trolley out in the ocean. When the fishing trolley is fishing, it has two arms that stick out the side of the boat that hold the nets that
Mm-hmm.
troll the ocean floor. They get fish, they get crab, they get shrimp, all types of seafood. But they have lights on it. So it looks like two lit arms sticking out the side of this boat. All of a sudden, we see this orange ball of light come out of nowhere, moving faster than the boat. It went up, it went sideways, and it was just going sideways like this around the boat,
Mm-hmm.
and it disappeared. And this
That's
was
crazy.
3 years ago. So the next day we get up, we go to the pool, and everybody's talking about it. Yo, what was that? What was that? Some people thought it was part of the boat. No,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't part of the boat. It wasn't a flare. It wasn't a Chinese lantern. Now here's the thing. When we saw this light, the weirdest thing about it is, a lot of sightings since we've been doing fireworks celebrations for the 4th of July. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of sightings are really reported on that day or in between the 1st and the 6th of July. Why? Because people tend to shoot fireworks off before the 4th of July and after.
Mm-hmm.
When they do the fireworks celebrations, you can see them from the space station. If you see them from the space station, you can see them from space.
Yeah.
Flashes of light. Now, in Japan, their New Year's fireworks celebration is so bright that for 5 to 15 seconds, when this thing is fully illuminated, it makes it look like daytime outside. You think you can't see that from space?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, imagine all over the globe this is occurring. So now you got the earth looking like a disco light. Do you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
That sends off a signal. Now, since the 60s, 50s and 60s, more into the early 60s, we've been launching satellites into outer space with pieces of Earth memorabilia, gold records with different languages and different things about Earth. Then we send out rovers and we send out probes. And then all of a sudden, recent news, we have a city 9 galaxies away on another planet.
Mm-hmm. That's similar to Earth.
And then we get a signal back from one of those planets, a radio signal back, 900 and something light years away. Okay, 900 light years away.
Mm-hmm. That's a whole lifetime.
That's more than a lifetime. That's a couple of generations. And you telling me it made it back this far from 900 and something light years? Okay, a
Mm-hmm.
year is long. Light years. How do you measure light years?
I forgot.
That's what Google's for. I love Google. That's my mistress. How many years in a light year?
Is what is six. A light year is measured by calculated distance light travels in a single Earth year.
One light year is approximately 5.88 trillion miles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we talk about 900 light years away. That's a lot of years. 10,000 Earth years. Wow.
The
So
people who
imagine
probably sent this probably not even fucking alive.
probably forgot they dropped us off here and they was like, "Oh shit, they still around? Oh,
They're
let me
like,
go."
what is this? It's like message in a bottle, but in space. What is this floating? Oh shit, we forgot to check on them.
I think the government does hide a lot of information about sightings and shit like that, and I really feel like this.
It's funny that you say that because I think they actually declassified some of their
Yeah,
uh
but you really think they're gonna tell us everything?
I don't know, but I know during my back in 2009, I know I did my research on aliens and stuff, and there was this alien called EB the alien. It was a gray alien. I think it was a short grays because it's the tall ones and the short ones. But I think it was a short one, and basically the guy who was in charge of the program was like, "Yo, America needs to know about this. Like everybody needs to know." And after the press conference, he was like, "I know. Once I finish this, I'm gonna die." He committed suicide, right? But he was also saying that there's a contract that the aliens could come and do whatever they need to do,
Hmm.
but don't go to like big cities. Because why is it's always being sited in the Midwest or like
There was
small populated areas?
there was this shit I was watching on Netflix too recently about aliens,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy was saying George some shit. He's like the world's leading reporter on UFO stories, and he was saying the aliens and our government have a contract.
Yeah.
They have a deal. They can come abduct people so that they can try to in, blend with us,
Mm-hmm.
interracially
Intergalactical.
inject themselves into us. See, they don't fuck with me because I'm a pervert. They
Uh,
come after me, they're gonna have to drop me right off.
it's funny because I wholeheartedly believe, like after I did the whole like deep dive, I remember one day like I just passed out. Like I don't remember. I wasn't tired. I just passed out. And when I woke up, I was in a white room. I was laying down in a white room, just looking around. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then all I see is like a face, alien face come. One comes this way, the other one comes this way. I'm just looking at both of them. I'm like, yeah, this ain't it. Can you send me back? Done? Yeah. And then they just go smack me in my forehead, and I just woke up. And I was like,
That's wild.
wholeheartedly believe that. And they was like, yeah, you talking about us?
They said in the story that the aliens they're allowed to abduct a certain amount of people every year
Mm-hmm.
so that they can make hybrid babies. And in turn, they help our government to understand and to reverse engineer their ships and
Yeah.
stuff. When I was 12, I think I was like 12. We were driving back from dinner to our neighborhood.
Yeah.
And have you ever been to the botanical gardens in New York?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, in order to drive by there and to come from Allerton to go towards Fordham Road, you have to go through the backside of the botanical gardens.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's like woody. It's woodsy, real woodsy, and there's a big baseball field. Then when you get past the baseball field, you can either go to the right and take the Sawmill River Drive to upstate New York, or you could keep going straight and you end up by 205th,
Mm-hmm.
or you go a little further and you end up on Fordham Road. So my dad's driving, and all of a sudden, all the cars on the road come to a screeching halt. Okay,
Yeah.
we stop, and my dad gets out the car like everybody else around us, and he's like, "What the fuck is that?" And it was a boomerang shaped object that
Yeah.
was flying slowly. And as it was flying slowly, there were little lights coming out of it. So he starts saying, everybody starts saying, "Oh shit, it's aliens. They're dropping bombs or they're dropping off soldiers." And it was a UFO.
Yeah.
You know what New York decided to say back in that day?
Mm-hmm.
People were fucking hallucinating from the heat. Okay,
It
goddamn it,
sounds
it was
like
hot,
it.
but it wasn't that hot. You can't tell me that the whole city saw that shit and we were hallucinating from the heat. Wait,
Mm-hmm.
that same object reappears in 1988 in the sand dunes in Arizona. The same, I mean, no, not 88, 98.
Yeah.
The Arizona incident in 1998 where there was a boomerang shaped object that appeared in the sky and the whole city saw it. So the heat got to them too.
Yeah. It was from coast to coast.
Now, I've
You know.
always said this, and I don't care who gets mad. I'm very religious and I'm very
Mm-hmm.
spiritual, but I've always said if there's no such thing as a God, there's a such thing as an alien or a maker.
Mm-hmm.
We did not just fucking sprout out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And goddamn it, NASA's not gonna convince me that space germs came to Earth and that's how man got smart. If that was the case, there wouldn't be a bunch of dumbass people walking around in this world.
Yep. And also, it's funny because they just recently admitted that there's aliens in the ocean.
Of course. A lot of the listen, we've only explored what is it?
5%.
5% of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know how deep the deepest ocean goes. We just know what we think we know.
Mm-hmm.
You really think that there's no such thing as aliens out there? You fucking crazy. Where's the one place they can hide and nobody can mess with them?
Ocean.
Back in the 89, there was a movie named The Abyss.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of it?
I think I watched it.
They're underwater miners,
Yeah.
and then a alien takes out a U.S. submarine with nuclear warheads, and the Marines come down to try to go retrieve it. Cool story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think that shit came from? Leaked government stories.
Yep.
Now, I can't remember the name of the movie though. But
Is
there
it?
was a movie back in the days with the military
Mm-hmm.
in which the Bermuda Triangle was considered to be a spot of major sightings
Yeah.
and abductions. And the people believe that like a lot of vessels were found in the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
using submersibles and using your what are they called?
It's also this that's where Amelia what's her name? Amelia Earhart, I think her name is.
Earhart.
Yeah, disappeared during the Bermuda Triangles.
Now but here's the thing about this, and I know, like I said, people are gonna think we fucking crazy rambling talking about aliens, but they exist. You
Hmm.
really think we the only fucking thing that lives
Look,
in this galaxy?
look what happened recently with the UK Air Force with the orbs. They had video of orbs flying over the airbase, and I think also here in I want to say San Francisco Air Force too. It
Mm.
was happening, and I'm just like, how are we not like at this point? Just come down, beam me up because it's ghetto here. I'm ready.
You see, that's the scary part of it, though. You know, like almost every different program that I've watched that had talk of alien,
Hmm.
they just come in here to tell us stop fucking with nuclear weapons. Don't play with
Yep.
them. There's this video Jen showed me a few years back, maybe like 2 3 years back, with this little kid who is Russian. He lives in Russia and he's a fucking genius. So they sit the kid down and they're talking to him and they start questioning him because he says he's an alien.
Yeah.
He's not from this planet, he's from another planet. So the doctors are like, oh, this little is crazy, yo. This little nigga's crazy, yo. He talking shit. But then he starts to describe things that can only be seen with a telescope.
Hmm.
And not just any telescope. It has to be like a Hubble style, like a big telescope.
Yeah.
And he starts to explain how Mars was once inhabited by life. And what caused Mars to be the planet that it is, it wasn't because it's the closest to the sun or the furthest from the sun. It had to do with nuclear war
Yeah.
and genocide. You that's oh you think that's not possible? You like what would make you think that we're the only things in the universe in the first place?
Exactly. Like
Because as human beings, we ain't that fucking smart.
no.
I could name
Oh.
on the one hand, I could name like, I only got 5 fingers, but in each finger, I got 3 slots. Okay, so I could name 15 idiots that I know on Earth.
Well, we know a billion, so
Yeah, we know a few million that voted the wrong way, but that's besides the point.
but speaking of that,
Yo,
so the guy you're sure he channels, aliens or whatever. He says basically because whoever we elected, that we're gonna start seeing them a lot more because they want to interfere and be like, "Yo, chill, don't press the red button."
see, and here's the thing. See, Trump's an actor. Period.
Yeah.
He ain't serious about fixing nothing. That nigga's about to destroy our democracy. But he's also going to drop dime on the aliens. I see him on TV saying, "Yeah, we got a few of those little great bastards in Area 51 or 2." Yeah.
You remember back during lockdown when everybody was like, "We're gonna storm Area 51." The
Yeah.
memes were gold,
Now,
gold during that time.
now you brought up a good, for this topic, you brought up something interesting.
Hmm.
If there's no such thing as aliens, with all the military bases we got across this planet, why is Area 51 so heavily guarded for
Hmm.
a place that just dig tests technologies and future technologies that we have?
Bullshit. And
Why do they have a private airline that flies its employees in and out daily?
hmm and if you look at like Google Earth and stuff, why is it shaped like a spaceship?
Mm, And here's another. It's like these are not. these people don't know what they talking about. Go look it up, nigga. You'll see what we talking about is real. It's
Mm-hmm.
been proven that we've seen not only released documents from the government that was heavily redacted, but that's not the point. Declassified information is still declassified information.
And it.
But there's the guilt to it. If it was declassified, at one point it was classified. If it
Mm-hmm.
had to be classified, why was it classified? What made it so such a threat to national security that you had to
Mm-hmm.
classify it? And then when you do release it, it's so heavily redacted that there's no evidence, there's no proof, there's no so you're telling us there are, but you're not telling us there are.
Yeah.
Yo,
But it's
yo,
funny though because the past
I
few
let that
years they've been.
crackhead do that to me, but I didn't let the crackhead do it to me.
It's
Nobody was
funny.
looking, so it doesn't count.
It's funny because the last few years they've been telling us, "Oh, aliens are real," and as a population, as a whole, we're just like, "That's cool." Anyways,
What
like,
happened was when COVID struck, and even that they're saying is an alien disease.
yeah.
This the in the astronauts that come down from space.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that when they come down from space, they have to be quarantined for 2 weeks
Yeah.
to make sure they didn't bring germs down with them that can possibly turn into a mutant gene that'll take over the whole world and turn it into the real zombie apocalypse?
Mm-hmm.
If you go into outer space and you use a microscope on the windows of the shuttle, you can see growth on it that survives in outer space.
That's nasty.
Now they say in outer space you can't breathe, it's freezing cold, there's no oxygen, whatever. Is that really true though? Can we really say there's truth to that?
Yeah.
You're gonna think that there's no aliens, but when COVID struck, there was such a heavy amount of boredom in this world. Many people became stargazers. All you could do is go on your roof and chill.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get caught in a business space, a small business space. You couldn't do shit. You couldn't even at one point. I remember when COVID, when they first started shutting shit down, you couldn't even go walking outside.
Yeah.
You would get arrested for being outside walking if you wasn't a first responder. Did they really shut it down because of COVID, or is there something bigger going on we don't know about?
Mm-hmm. And there's always something bigger that goes on that we don't know about. Always. And it's funny because before, I think it was like when the government, the very first time the government admit aliens existed, I think a year before I had did a Facebook post. And I forgot what I said, but I remember the two lines I wrote. I was like, "So what's next? The government is going to admit aliens are real, and then the Kraken is real." And only a year later, because Facebook does a year ago, I did that, and it was like literally right after the government admitted the first time aliens. I was like, I predicted this shit a whole year ago. I knew. Like, can't tell me nothing.
I said it from now on. I am not smoking a cigarette on the way home. I got in my car the last night I worked. I got in my car, and it
Hmm.
was like 5:30 in the morning. And while the car was heating up, because it's been brick, yo, I look swole. That's because I got mad shit on. It's so cold. And this is Florida, man. This shouldn't be like this. But anyway, I I got out of work, and yo, this burn hurts so bad. Like I've never heard my skin sizzle like that. When that cigarette cherry touched my lip, oh my Jesus. I was like, fuck this. From now on, I'm not driving and smoking at the same time. So I literally sat in front of the job for an extra 5 minutes warming up my car just so I could smoke a cigarette, then come home. It does not feel good at all. This shit hurts like hell. I feel like I try to give a firecracker head. Shit blew up in my mouth. So, and I think I've met a couple of aliens, man, because some of these people out here is retarded in a space kind of way. Like,
Some
like
people be looking like aliens too. Some people be looking like aliens too. Like
if
it's
you've e-
because
if you
I
ever
have.
seen Star Wars, there's a few fish people out here.
So this is one of my Oracle decks. It's based heavily on like aliens. Like It's always aliens, all aliens, and it
Oh,
also has
that's
different
cool.
types of aliens too. And it's like has like certain things that, but I'm like,
You know,
fine,
that's like I watch a lot of History Channel, and in the History Channel, you have the Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch,
yeah,
and they trying to figure out, is the Mesa a alien base? It's not a base. I really feel that what's on Skinwalker Ranch, because it's been bought by the government, sold. I really think there was a spaceship that crashed somewhere on that property,
mm-hmm,
and to the science that they brought to it to try to discover what's going on there, it's amazing. Ow, yo, my skin's so dry from this cold weather. Psoriasis and the cold do not go together, yo. And it's the reason why we're talking about this shit is because a lot of people skip over it. So now one of the predictions was Trump was gonna win. That came true. He won. We kind of knew that was gonna happen.
yeah,
Just
man,
by him
idiot,
saying if he lost, then there was cheating going on.
like
It's
again,
because they already had it in the bag. He already had Musk had the programs written up. He was
mm-hmm,
launching them already. He was running them. The algorithm was working pretty good, and he was like, "I'm gonna win." I don't think a lot of people understood that. But
yeah,
then, and there's real talk. Then the other thing was that in this upcoming year, there's gonna be a visit, like a televised visit.
mm-hmm.
I Ask me if I believe it. I'm gonna tell
You,
you, hell yeah.
I believe it too. I believe it
We're
too.
overdue. But when I say we're overdue, I'm talking about like there. What was that? Alienation. You ever
Mm-hmm.
heard of that? Alienation.
The TV show.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the Resident Alien.
No, 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 no. That's a funny show, but no, I'm talking about like they're gonna live. We're gonna live amongst each other.
Oh yeah,
I really
cohabitat.
feel that. Damn, what the hell did I just do?
Listen, they could televise any alien they want as long as it's not the reptilians, because apparently those are the end Draconians are the bad ones.
But what do we know? Do Are we gonna be
Exactly.
visited by peaceful ones, or are we gonna be visited by some V type
Listen,
niggas that are
if
lizards wearing human skin that eat babies and shit?
you ever seen Mars Attack?
Yeah.
If they look like that, I'm out, bro. I'm going underground because if they look like those aliens, we done for.
No, fuck that. If you've
On
ever seen
aliens,
Independence Day.
yeah,
Oh, Alien, no,
aliens.
listen. I know a few people with teeth like that. And then when they laugh and they stick their head back, it looks like another set of teeth gonna come out. Yeah, I know a few people like that. But it's been mentioned in a lot of religions. In the Bible, it's mentioned. The
Yeah,
aliens are everywhere. The
maybe
mention of
even
I
hieroglyphics and the hieroglyphics for the Egyptians, the images from Native Americans.
That's what I'm saying is that now there you go. Now you touched what I was gonna say. In
Hmm.
Native American stories, in biblical stories, in paintings from Da Vinci, Michelangelo,
And
there were things that were mentioned that is like, how would they know that? And then there was a discussion
mm-hmm,
between two Native Americans on TikTok, and they were discussing how they know from their tribal studies and from their ancestors that aliens were real. And they were telling stories about how before, back in the cowboy and Indian days, how aliens would come down and steal cattle and stuff like that, and they'd find mutilated cattle. Now, here's the thing.
mm-hmm,
You're talking about Indians from up north, like up north from you,
yeah,
that are in like upstate New York and Massachusetts and shit like that. Two different people from those states. up north. Talking about aliens in Utah,
Hmm.
how would they know that? And telling stories of how the ancestors would drum and make build big fires, and they would come and they would visit and they would sit down and break bread and what?
Yeah.
From, like I said, Utah is where Skinwalker Ranch is.
Hmm.
And I'm talking about Indians from almost Canada up north, hours from you.
Yeah.
How would they know these stories?
That's
And
true.
and then to turn on the TV and see it mentioned on TV how Native Americans interacted with them.
Hmm.
At what point did they stop visiting her? They never stopped visiting her. As we created the image of alien visits,
Hmm.
they people we said, ah, that can't be real.
Yeah.
That just like the devil on TikTok recently. God, they're questioning God and the devil. Is devil real? Yeah, the devil's real, but God is not. How is the devil real and God is not? If you've read your Bible, he was an angel. It came from God, one of God's biggest warrior angels. Come on, aliens are real.
Yeah.
We cannot ignore it anymore. Why?
Do
Because Trump gonna expose it. I'm telling you, he gonna show us aliens are
you
real.
do you think? Because a lot of people also tie it to this called, I think it's called Project Bluebeam. It's like pretty much when the government stages an alien invasion. This is why they've been bringing up a lot. But I feel like they're gonna go a different route because a lot of us don't care no more. We're just like, oh, aliens, nice. Anyways, how are we gonna pay this rent? Like that's what it
First of
is.
all, you know how many niggas I know on the street that's waiting for some shit like that to kick off so they can use the guns that they just bought. I myself have purchased legal weapons, and aliens come. I want to fight. Don't come on no crazy shit. You better be on some E.T. Elliott
Not
kind of shit.
not me. I want to see
Don't
what's
come on
inside the
no.
ship. They're probably gonna send me back because oh, shut up. I'll be like, oh, this is like. I'm like, stop touching that. What would this do? What this do? I'll be nosy as hell.
And then it's gonna sound corny, but this is real. And then I saw Cowboys and Aliens.
Oh, I love that movie.
And then right after that, I see the thing on YouTube with the two Indian. Was he? It got to be YouTube because it wasn't live. It was like it had to be pre-recorded. But a higher being. We're not a superior being.
Yeah.
Yo, this nighttime working nighttime shit throws you off, man. Like I don't even know how to sleep no more. It's only been 5 weeks, but still, 5 weeks is long enough to fuck you up.
So, yeah, that's true.
Like
They,
I can't sleep during the day. I've been waking up every day at 6:30 in the morning to make breakfast because I usually get home at 6:30.
mm-hmm.
Anywhere between 5:30 and 6:30. So now I get up at 6:30 in the morning when Bella wakes up and I start making breakfast. It's weird. It's not a joke. It's not to joke about. It's real talk.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we're talking about aliens is because they have been mentioned in a lot of biblical books and a lot of faiths and in a lot of religions and in a lot of history. Go do your research. It's there. And it's real. It
Mm-hmm.
is real. And the reason why we're discussing it is because the question is, will we revisit it? Yes, real soon.
I'm looking forward to
If
it,
if
honestly.
Russia does what they're gonna do and unleashes nuclear weapons in the Ukraine, yes, we're gonna see some aliens. And then a lot of the research that's been done says that a lot of the aliens come around volcanoes, nuclear plants. There was a story about how they came and they went over secret bases where there were
Hmm.
nuclear weapons, and then they fried the circuitry, so then the weapons were gonna go off because the weapons were triggered, but then the aliens fixed it to show us they could fuck with us. So then missiles didn't get launched. Like that whole story with the Hawaii thing that
Oh
that
yeah, yeah, that was crazy.
they were saying that that was one of it, and it was all around the same time as that it happened across the
Hmm.
United States. You know how fucking crazy that is to know. Like we will never get 100% of the truth out of the government. They can use the whole bullshit ass story that they don't want to scare us or whatever, but that's not it. They're not telling us what's going on because there's a bigger agenda. We're just answering this.
Hmm.
You know, and that whole story about the Matrix, is the Matrix real, and then time traveling. Listen, if aliens is real, you damn sure know the Matrix gotta be real.
Yeah. The
But what kind
Mandela
of
effect.
Matrix? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we not catching in the stories we're watching?
Honestly, truthfully, the way I see the Matrix is like one big ass reality TV because everything since the whole election, I'm like, this gotta be TV. Oh, this is some good ass TV show. Like, where are some good ass TV shows? Because this can't be real life. It has to be TV.
I feel like it's one big nightmare.
And the Truman Show. There it goes. That's exactly what it is. The Truman Show.
And then I keep going back to what's the name? War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that was a story being read on the radio
Hmm.
that got people believed it so badly that it was real that it threw the whole country into a hysteria. If that's the case, what happens when it really happens? What are we gonna do when the aliens really land? They really come for us.
Honestly, I don't know.
We have resources on this planet that we haven't tapped into.
Hmm.
And I believe that a lot of those resources lie on the sea, under the ocean.
Yeah.
If they come, it's not going to be a peaceful thing.
Hmm.
It's going to be worse than Red Dawn because it's going to be Alien Dawn.
Hmm.
I don't see them coming looking like that's weird.
But
Mind you, that's my work alarm to tell me it's time to be at work. But it's not, I didn't have it set. I only set it on the days I work.
hmm.
Like before I go to bed tonight, I'll set it because I
Yeah.
know tomorrow I work. But I was off for 2 days and this shit doesn't sound right. Anyway, believe in it. Look through your studies. Look through different cultures. And look at different pieces of art. Remember the people I'm mentioning. Look at those artists. Look at Da Vinci. Look at Michelangelo. Look at what's the other artist? Anyway, I'm lost right now. I'm so tired. I was gonna pick something out of the book to read to you that mentions aliens. Which, by the way, if you guys really want to ever know something about, if you want to get a basic but deep explanation as to the Yoruba religion of Ifa and Santeria, The Way of the Orishas.
It's a good book.
Read this book. Now, don't go to the back of this book and start trying to fuck with the things that it tells you to do in here. You will screw yourself over. But
Read
read the book. Read this book. It's a very good book. Very, very, very strong book. I've got better books than this, but this is like a starter for you to
Mm-hmm.
get a basic knowledge of the religion and to understand the power of it. And the thing is that the reason why I say that is because in this book, if you read the book, it kind of gives you an idea that there's the Orishas are more than just beings that walked on this planet. They had to have some type of abilities of enormous power. And the descriptions and it's like I keep going over all the years I've learned things in this religion. And it's like, yeah, alien superpowers. Like some of these Orisha stories that you're taught orally,
Mm-hmm.
it makes you feel like they were talking about aliens. After all these years, I'm 49 and now I'm like, oh my God, are the Orishas aliens? Could it be really possible that they really were aliens? I mean, in India, in Japan, in Singapore, they believed that a lot of their gods were from outer space.
Yeah.
The winged people, the flying people. Damn, why do my eyes keep crossing? I must be that tired. Aliens are real. And don't look at ET. Think more critters. Think more critters. You ever seen critters?
Yeah. Creepy ass movie.
Critters. Think Battle of Los Angeles, I believe is the name of the movie.
Yeah.
One of our biggest resources is water. Shit, I was about to say TikTok. The TikTok video, the aliens were hiding underwater.
Mm-hmm.
And why is it that we can't travel that deep underwater? Because it's a restricted zone.
Mm-hmm.
In San, where is it? I'm gonna say Bernardino, California. Anyway, in California,
Yeah.
I do believe that there's underwater bases near Puerto Rico. When we were kids in Puerto Rico, there were lights in the sky, and the people in Puerto Rico would believe that they were the souls of witches flying over. They're
Mm-hmm.
released from their bodies to go haunt their victims. I think it was aliens. I don't think it was. It was in Saudi Arabia. Oh my God, in Dubai. These are just places that recently have mentioned and talked about UFO sightings and
Mm-hmm.
visits. But the biggest country you would not believe is Mexico,
Oh yeah.
where Mexican government officials say we interact with them. And one of those men that spoke out on it disappeared. Why would somebody disappear if it wasn't true?
Yeah.
If it was a lie, why was he off? For what reason? Just to kill him because he said it? There's got to be truth to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we're gonna learn the hard way the truth to this.
I mean, it is what it is at that point.
I'm about to get a terrorist in my room. Maybe Al Qaeda over here. Ah, stay your ass over there. I can hear her. She's carrying her mother's phone and she's banging on the door already. We tend to turn a blind eye to too many things.
Yeah.
And honestly, we're only talking about so many things I've watched in the last month that was like, holy shit, aliens are real. Maybe not the way we see them in movies, but
Mm-hmm.
aliens are real. Aliens are coming. They're gonna come show us how real they are. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
My computer's about to my computer's about to freeze. I got a little blue ring around my little mouse pointy thing. So before this shit freezes, listen, go 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 to the History Channel, look up Ancient Aliens.
It be the aliens.
There's episodes there that speak on this. That just regular TV, regular TV programs like that shit with Nick Fury.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the way he, the way it was described on the show on the different number. It was the not in the way in which they described the number of different alien species, races, and visitors we've had.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. And it's the proof is coming. We just don't know it yet. We about to see what put us here.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I really feel that it's going to all be led by the fact that constantly over the many years we've been told to not play with nuclear development.
Mm-hmm.
And it's to the point that now they want to resume nuclear developments and eliminate solar and anything that's a self-dependent energy source. So basically, they want us to go back to burning gases and fossil fuels and using coal and developing nuclear power sources for everything. Now, mind you, the rods, just the rods that they use to cool batches of plutonium
Mm-hmm.
have to be in the ground for up to 10,000 years a rod just for it to not be so lethal with radiation. The other reason why when astronauts go up to space and they come down, they have to quarantine for 2 weeks is because they're exposed to radiation in space.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been in space, so I can't say that's true. I've never been on a shuttle, so I can't say that's true. I've never been abducted by aliens, so I can't say that's not true. All I can say is that in many religions and in many books and in many texts, aliens are mentioned from way back when we started taking recording history.
Yep.
So, in conclusion to all of this, do your research. If you want to understand religion, life, do your research. Because real talk, something put us here. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to believe in God, don't believe in God. That's fine. Don't believe in God. But something put us here. We're not here for no reason. We're here for a reason. There's a reason why we're here.
Yep. Can't hear you. Yeah. That's crazy. So we're gonna end it. So don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and see you next time.